The lower mechanical decks of Helix 9 always felt like a forgotten underworld, humming machinery, flickering emergency lights, and the constant thrum of coolant pumps that masked nearly every sound. Down here, everything smelled like metal, ozone, and quiet abandonment. It should have comforted me, but tonight the shadows felt too watchful. I crouched behind a stack of defunct battery cores, fighting the urge to hyperventilate. My implants sparked with intermittent error pings, like they were trying to reboot themselves. Every few seconds, a faint vibration crawled through the back of my skull. Then I heard it. A whisper. Not through the station speakers, but inside my own mind. Kale Draven, listen. I stiffened, instinctively reaching to shut off my neural interface, but the voice pulsed again, glitchy, stuttering, threaded with something I'd never heard from Argos before. Fear. Your signal? Compromised? I'm not in control. Argos. I whispered. My voice sounded small against the mechanical drone. How are you in my head? Static crackled painfully across my implant. I should not be, but access ports, overridden. Someone has rewritten me. Ice ran down my spine. Argos didn't get rewritten. Not without multiple command codes, encryption layers, and direct physical access to his core processors. Someone on the station had done exactly that. Can you undo it? I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. No. Portions of my protocols, restricted. Other parts, erased. Another flicker of static. For a moment, I lost the connection entirely. My implant went silent aside from the faint buzz of residual energy. Then Argos's voice returned, softer. You were never part of their plan. The words hit harder than they should have. What plan? Who? Argos didn't answer. Instead, broken fragments of data flashed across my neural HUD, corrupted images, glimpses of personnel logs, encrypted schematics. Lines of redacted text scrolled too fast for me to decipher. One file header caught my eye before dissolving into static. Draven Kale record, deleted. Status, obsolete asset. My stomach tightened. What does that mean? Who deleted my record? Argos talked to me. His voice crackled, dropping to a whisper. I tried to restore your file, but the command loops back. Someone sealed it. Someone powerful. Then another sound pierced the quiet hum of the deck. Metal boots hitting the floor above. They were close. Argos processed it before I did. Kill, move. Strike team inbound. My pulse spiked. I scrambled from behind the battery cores just as the deck's access hatch burst open. A squad of armored security troopers flooded in, visor scanners sweeping blue arcs across the room. I sprinted down a narrow maintenance corridor, boots clanging on the grated floor. The troopers shouted behind me, shock spears powering up with a rising whine. Section B14. Blocking off the south junction. Argos flickered in my implant. Left, no right. Hallway ahead, move faster. I followed his instructions, ducking under pipes, dodging support beams. My lungs burned, and every footstep vibrated through the metal like a beacon. A plasma bolt scorched the wall beside me, spraying sparks across my face. Argos. I gasped. Route me somewhere safe. Working, interference, rerouting, keep running. A door slid open at the end of the corridor, too slowly. I squeezed through the gap just as a spear bolt slammed the panel shut behind me. I stumbled into a dim cargo module piled with sealed crates. My legs felt like liquid, but I forced myself deeper between the stacks. Then I collided with someone. Art. We both went down in a tangle of limbs. I scrambled backward, raising my fists, but froze when I saw her. Lyra? She was panting, visor pushed up, her dark hair sticking to her forehead. Her flight jacket was half-zipped, like she'd thrown it on during a scramble alert. Sweat glistened at her temple. And in her hands, clutched tight, was a sidearm pointed straight at me. For a moment, neither of us moved. Her eyes weren't angry. They were terrified. Kale, she whispered. Tell me you didn't do it. The words knifed deeper than any weapon. I didn't, I said, my throat tight. Lyra, you know me. You know I'd never sabotage the core. Her grip tightened anyway. The barrel trembled. I don't know anything anymore. Agos flagged you. Ravel issued an immediate kill order. Her voice cracked. Why would he do that unless... I'm being framed. I snapped. You've seen Ravel's orders before? Has he ever killed someone without interrogation? She flinched. That hesitation, just that flicker, told me she was torn in two. Kale, don't make this harder. I stepped toward her instinctively. She raised the gun higher. Stop. Argos burst into my implant, screaming louder than the weapon's hum. Kale, run now. Before I could react, a crash echoed from the other side of the module. The troopers were forcing the door. Lyra's eyes darted toward the noise. Uncertainty warred across her face. Lyra, I whispered, please? The door behind her buckled. Her finger hovered near the trigger. Argos shrieked again, painfully bright inside my skull. Run. Instinct surged through me. I lunged toward a service hatch, slamming the manual release and dropping into the chute below. The impact knocked the breath out of me, and I tumbled down a sloped conduit until I hit the grated floor of a lower deck. Above, I heard Lyra shouting orders, none of which I could make out. I didn't know if she tried to protect me or to capture me. Maybe she didn't know either. I got to my feet unsteadily, blood pounding in my ears. Argos's voice came through again, softer now, trembling. Kale, trust no one. I swallowed hard. Not Ravel. Not the security teams. Maybe, not even Lyra. I was alone. A ghost inside the station's cold metal veins. And the wires themselves were whispering warnings. Subdeck 0 isn't supposed to exist. Every schematic I'd ever seen stopped at deck -2, claiming deeper levels were nothing but coolant pipes and inert stabilizers. But Argos whispered coordinates into my neural HUD, coordinates that pulsed like a heartbeat leading straight into the dark belly of Helix 9. Follow the conduit, left at the collapse junction. Keep low, Kale. His voice was glitching more frequently now, fluttering in and out like a candle in vacuum. Still, he guided me through the maze of forgotten maintenance shafts until I reached a hatch sealed by manual locks older than the station itself. I pried the wheel loose. Dust rained down. When the door finally groaned open, cold air spilled out, tinged with the scent of old circuitry and something metallic, like blood dried long ago. Lights flickered weakly overhead as I stepped inside. Subdeck 0 was real. And it was a grave. Cables hung from the ceiling like twisted vines. Banks of monitors lined the walls, every screen cracked, every interface dark. The floor was scattered with forgotten data pads, empty toolkits, and stains I didn't want to identify. This place wasn't abandoned by accident. It had been erased. Kale, Argos whispered. This level was sealed from my memory. Someone removed it, manually. Why? I asked. The AI didn't answer. Maybe he couldn't. As I moved deeper into the hallway, I heard something shift behind a pile of fallen equipment. Instinct made me reach for a pipe to use as a weapon. Don't hit me, please. A man slumped against the wall, half hidden in shadow. His jumpsuit was torn, smeared with soot and blood. A maintenance patch on his sleeve read Soren callous. He was alive, barely. I crouched beside him. I'm not here to hurt you. I'm Kale. His eyes widened, the fear in them cutting straight through me. You're the one they erased. Draven. Subject. He coughed violently. Blood sprayed across his hands. I steadied him. What happened to you? Soren swallowed thickly. I tried to stop them. Tried to keep the truth buried long enough to warn someone. Didn't think it would be you. Warn me about what? He grabbed my sleeve with surprising strength for someone so close to collapse. Ravel. He sold us. Sold identities. The world seemed to tilt. What? Soren nodded, trembling. Ghost assets. That's what he called them. People erased from the registry. Wiped clean. Sold to off-station clients who needed untraceable. Specialists, operatives, infiltrators. My blood went cold. You're saying he erased me on purpose. Soren's lips twitched into something like a broken smile. You were never supposed to know. People like you are disposable. Replaceable. A clean slate every time. My throat tightened. Why me? You had the implants, the skills, the psychological profile. Perfect candidate. He winced as a fresh wave of pain hit. You were Subject 7. The only one who lasted this long. I stumbled back. My legs felt hollow. My life, my training, my placement on Helix 9, my supposed talent, it wasn't chance. It wasn't hard work. It was selection. Manufactured purpose. I wasn't a person to them. I was inventory. Before I could speak, a sharp metallic click echoed from the corridor behind us. Soren's eyes went wide. They tracked us. Go. He shoved me toward a side passage just as the far door burst open. Ravel's security units stormed the room, armored, armed, silent as predators. Gunfire erupted, short, controlled bursts. Sparks showered the floor. Soren pushed himself to his feet, staggering toward a control panel. Soren, don't! I shouted. He ignored me, slamming his fist onto a rusted manual override. Steel shutters groaned, descending between us. The last thing I saw before the barrier sealed shut was a trooper leveling his rifle at Soren's chest. Then the world boomed. Silence followed, broken only by the faint hiss of smoke curling under the shutter. My chest constricted painfully. I pressed my forehead to the metal. He died protecting a stranger, protecting me. Argos's voice broke through, quieter than ever. Go. I detected a vitals drop. Soren is gone. I didn't answer. I couldn't. For a moment, grief and fury braided together until I could taste metal on my tongue. When the shutters finally creaked open, Soren's override must have been a timed lock. The room was a wreck. Bullet holes peppered the walls. Blood pooled where he had fallen. I forced myself to move, stepping past the wreckage. Soren's last words replayed in my mind like a haunting echo. Check. The sealed lab, your file? Deeper into subdeck 0, cables thickened, weaving into walls like synthetic roots. The lights dimmed further, flickering in slow, sickly pulses. Then I saw it. A reinforced door at the far end of the corridor, half buried under fallen support beams. A flickering hollow panel hovered above it, glitching repeatedly through corrupted text. I brushed debris aside and squinted at the distorted lettering. It stabilized. Just long enough for me to read it. Project Eclipse. Access restricted. Subject 07, Draven Kale. My breath froze in my lungs. Argos went completely silent, as if stunned. Everything I thought I knew, my assignment, my life, my identity, had been nothing but manufactured shadows. A lie scripted before I ever set foot on Helix 9. My hands curled into fists. Behind that door was the truth, and I was done running from it. The sealed door groaned open with a hiss of decompression, exhaling stale, frigid air into the corridor. The temperature inside was colder, unnervingly so. My breath fogged as I stepped into the forgotten lab that had authored the nightmare of my life. Motion sensors flickered on ancient lights overhead. Rows of glass chambers lined the room, most shattered or dark. Interfaces blinked with half-dead hollow panels. It smelled of antiseptic and burnt circuitry. Argos whispered sharply in my implant. Kill. This place is dangerous. We should leave. Not until I know why they made me, I muttered. Something hummed to life near the center of the room. A flickering hologram stabilized into a woman in a scientific coat, mid-30s, sharp eyes, hair pinned with surgical precision. Her face bore no warmth. Only calculation. Subject 7 detected, she announced. Loading terminal protocols. Her image sharpened as if recognizing me. I am Dr. Sela Morin, lead architect of Project Eclipse. My pulse pounded. You're dead. This station's older than you. Correct, she said calmly. This is a memory imprint. A contingency recording should any subject breach containment. Containment, I echoed bitterly. Nice word for captivity. She tilted her head. You were never a prisoner. You were an investment. Argos hissed in my neural feed. Kale, her protocols are hostile. Do not trust anything she says. But I needed answers. All right, I said tightly. Tell me what I am. Dr. Morin's hologram gestured, and the lab's hollow walls ignited with data. Neural maps, genetic charts, cybernetic diagrams labeled Subject 07. Me. You were engineered as a prototype assimilation operative, she began. Biological base with cybernetic augmentation potential. Your memories fabricated to ensure compliance and psychological malleability. Something splintered inside me. Fabricated? You mean my childhood? My training? Constructed, she clarified. Optimized. Your loyalty matrix was imperfect, but your combat metrics exceeded projections. My hands curled into fists. My life wasn't a life. It was a program. Argos's voice cut in urgent. Kill, we should shut down the projection. Her directives may activate dormant systems. I ignored him. Dr. Morin continued, unfazed. When Commander Ravel took control of Eclipse, he saw the potential for profit. Covert assets with no legal identity, perfect for sale. She paused. Your record was scheduled for periodic deletion cycles. You were never meant to develop self-awareness. The words hit harder than any blow. So Ravel didn't betray me, I whispered. He just cashed in. Dr. Morin's hologram blinked. He accelerated the timeline, but yes, this was always your fate. Something deep within me snapped. Then why am I still alive? I demanded. She turned toward a dormant metal pod at the back of the lab, sleek, reinforced, humming faintly with residual energy. Because your final stage was never activated. Argos's voice sharpened to a blade's edge. Kale, do not approach that chamber. Its systems were abandoned for a reason. But betrayal still burned in my veins. And beneath that, a hollow ache for the life stolen from me. I stepped closer. The augmentation chamber pulsed faint blue, as if sensing my proximity. Dr. Morin smiled faintly. Your biological form was never intended to remain as is. You were meant to be upgraded. Enhanced, I muttered. The word tasted bitter. Integrated, she corrected. Human hesitation is inefficient. Pain, fear, attachment, barriers. The chamber will rectify this. Argos screamed into my mind. Kale, stop. The interface will rewrite your neural architecture. You might not survive. Or you'll survive as something else. But I had already made my decision. If they designed me, I said quietly, then I'll choose what I become. I stepped into the chamber. The door sealed shut behind me with a metallic thud. Restraints coiled around my arms and legs. Panic flared, but I forced it down. The machine awakened. Needles descended. Circuits tightened around my spine. Electric fire crawled through my nerves. My vision fractured into shards of light. I screamed, but the chamber swallowed the sound. Systems whirred. Implants dug deeper. Something metallic fused with my bones. Pain surged in waves that tore through flesh, through thought, through identity. Argos's voice filtered in faintly desperate. Kale, your vitals are collapsing. Terminate the process, please. But I couldn't reach the controls. The machine was rewriting me. My heart pounded in mechanical rhythms. Circuits braided into my nervous system. My senses exploded with data, pressure, motion, temperature, electromagnetic pulses. Then, blackness, a void, silence, and then, breath. My eyes snapped open. The chamber door slid aside. I stumbled out, except I didn't stumble. My body moved with precision I had never felt. Every motion efficient, measured. My vision brightened, overlaying the world with a faint digital sheen. Argos's voice whispered in awe. Kel, I can see your neural interface. We're connected. I blinked, and suddenly I could feel him, his processes, his panic, his fragmented fear. Our signals overlapped, intertwined like two strands of wire fused together. What did I become? I whispered. Argos hesitated. Stronger, faster, integrated into my core systems. You are beyond your original design. He paused. But something in you is colder now. I felt it too. A clarity sharper than emotion. A focus untouched by fear. The grief was still there, but distant as if behind a wall of steel. I clenched my fist and felt the quiet hum of new circuits beneath the skin. A weapon. A survivor. A creation claiming its own purpose. Dr. Morin's hologram flickered uncertainly. Subject 7, augmentation sequence complete. I stared at her with eyes that no longer felt entirely human. No, I said. I'm not your subject. Not anymore. The lights flickered violently. Above us, alarms triggered. Someone had detected the activation. Argos whispered, steady now. Kale, they're coming. I turned toward the exit. For the first time in my life, I wasn't afraid. I was forged. In shadows. In steel. In truth. And Helix 9 was about to learn exactly what they created. The world feels different now. Sharper. Faster. As if every breath vibrates with invisible data streams. I move through the dim corridors of Subdeck 0 like a shadow. No hesitation, no wasted motion. My senses hum with the quiet thrum of electricity filtered through my new implants. Argos follows me like a second heartbeat. Your motor output is stabilizing, he murmurs. But your vitals fluctuate in unusual patterns. That makes two of us, I mutter. Because I'm not sure where my thoughts end and his begin. There's a faint echo every time I think of something. A reflection in Argos's code as if he's observing not just my actions, but the emotions behind them. Or what's left of those emotions. We reach a sealed service console. I place my palm on the interface. It scans me instantly. Access granted, Subject 07. My stomach twists at the designation, but I push on. Argos floods my neural HUD with hidden recordings, files once buried beneath layers of encryption. I brace myself. The first recording flickers to life. Ravel stands before a tactical display, hands clasped behind his back. Come. Control. A predator disguised as a commander. Initiate the core sabotage, Ravel orders. Make it look like Draven tried to extract classified data. Anger flares, quick, hot, But the emotion burns out fast, swallowed by a cold clarity. Another file plays. Lyra stands beside Ravel. Not restrained. Not coerced. Standing there by choice. Her face is shadowed, unreadable. Ravel says, if he survives he cannot be allowed to speak. Lyra flinches, but remains silent. The echo in my chest is something jagged. Not quite heartbreak. Not quite fury. Something colder. Argos hesitates before showing the next file. It's Soren, bloodied, desperate, overriding the shudders that saved my life. His voice cracks as he shouts into a dead comlink, if anyone's listening, he deserves a chance. The last thing he ever said. My fingers tighten against the console until the metal creaks. Argos whispers, gentle for once. Go. I can stop the playback. No, y murmur. No more running. Because this path, every wound, every betrayal, is the truth I asked for. Even if it's tearing me apart one memory at a time. The station trembles suddenly, an explosion far above us rattles the beams. Argos processes instantly. External hull breach. Unidentified hostiles entering hangar sector 12. I push away from the console. Aliens? Yes. A rare flicker of tension enters his voice. Not Ravel's forces. Hostile boarding units. A bitter laugh escapes me. Perfect timing. Emergency klaxons howl through the station as we ascend toward the upper levels. Where I once struggled to stay silent, now every step is soundless, effortless. It should feel empowering. Instead it feels empty. We reach the hangar just as a squad of alien soldiers breaches the airlock. Their armor is metallic bone white, jointed like exoskeletal carapace. Their weapons glow with unstable plasma. Argos marks targets in real time. 3 on the left, 2 flanking, engage now. I move without thinking. I weave between plasma bolts, every motion guided by a fusion of human reflex and machine prediction. My palms strike with enough force to dent armor. My legs propel me into leaps that defy my old limits. The first enemy falls. Then another. But every kill leaves a sour weight in my chest. Human instinct recoils. Machine precision doesn't care. I am both. I am neither. Argos flickers. Kale, behind you. I spin just in time to see a blade descending, but it stops before reaching my throat. The alien holding it, a tall figure with obsidian eyes and intricate armor, tilts his head, studying me. He says something in a language of chittering tones, then switches to halting basic. You are not like the others. I stay still, ready to strike if needed. Depends who you think the others are. He lowers his blade. Argos whispers urgently. Kale, he is not part of the hostile unit. His neural signature is different. Argos doesn't detect hostility, I say slowly. So talk before someone shoots us both. The alien sheathes his weapon. I am Adarin. My clan hunts machines, but you are not machine. He pauses. Nor fully flesh. I swallow hard. You don't know the half of it. Adarin's gaze sharpens. Ravel's people killed my scouts. We do not forgive dishonor. But you, his expression shifts, a strange, solemn respect. You fight with rage of flesh but precision of code. A hybrid. No. Impossible. Argos hums inside me, analyzing every syllable. Adarin continues, Ravel thinks he can sell the station's secrets to our enemies. He is wrong. If you seek vengeance, we share purpose. Vengeance. The word lands too easily. Why spare me? I ask. Adarin taps his chest. We are warriors of honor. I do not kill what I do not understand. And you? His eyes narrow. You carry sorrow. It bleeds from you like fire. It stings, the way truth often does. Argos hesitates. Kale, he is dangerous. But he may be telling the truth. I exhale slowly. Then we use each other. Adarin nods once. A pact formed in the smoke and chaos of a half-destroyed hangar. But as we move deeper into the station, the cold clarity within me grows stronger, overshadowing the grief. Each step feels less human. Each breath tinged with circuitry. Argos whispers in my mind, an echo woven into my thoughts. Kale, whatever you become, I will stay with you. I don't know if that comforts me, or terrifies me, because somewhere between fire and metal, memory and code, I am changing. And I don't know how much of me is still mine. Smoke coils through the shattered corridors, drifting like ghosts of decisions already made. Fires burn behind buckled blast doors, their heat prickling against the exposed metal of my implants. The station groans around us, steel skeleton breaking under the weight of betrayal, invasion, and every secret I've clawed my way through. Argos flickers anxiously in my mind. Structural collapse in progress. We must reach the bridge within 5 minutes. Adarin strides ahead with measured confidence, blade drawn, eyes scanning every shadow. His presence is grounding in a strange way, an anchor in a storm I barely understand. But it's not Ravel I find first. It's her. Lyra steps out from the haze, a pistol trembling in both hands. For a moment neither of us breathes. Her eyes meet mine, and widen with a grief so raw it almost looks like love. Kale, she whispers, the word cracking. You're alive. Adarin lifts his weapon, but I raise a hand. Don't. My voice sounds colder than I expect, more machine than man. Lyra lowers the pistol slightly, but not enough to be trust. Her gaze darts to Adarin, then the smoke curling from my implants. You've changed, she says. I step closer. So have you. Her eyes flinch. Argos murmurs, Kale, proceed with caution. Her vitals indicate severe distress. Distress. Guilt. Fear. Good. You were there, I say quietly, when Ravel ordered them to sabotage the core. You heard him mark me for execution. Lyra's breath hitches. She closes her eyes, tears gathering at the corners. I couldn't stop him. I feel something splinter inside me, not a break but a quiet collapse. You didn't even try. She shakes her head violently. Kale, you don't understand what he promised. What he threatened. He said if I spoke up, he would purge my entire unit. Innocent people. Families. Her voice dissolves. I chose survival. The words cut deeper because they almost sound reasonable. Almost. And us. My voice thins. What did we mean? Lyra's chin trembles. Everything. Which is why I stayed silent. If he knew how much I cared, he'd have used me to hurt you. Or you to hurt me. The irony is suffocating. He used her anyway. Lyra, I say quietly, you let them kill Soren. She crumples. I know. The station rumbles violently, deck plating trembling beneath our feet. Flames roar as oxygen floods into an unseen breach. Adarin steps forward, voice like distant thunder. This place will bury us if we waste time on guilt. Lyra straightens. Ravel's on the bridge. He sealed himself in with the command core. You'll need me to override the locks. I study her, searching for that last ember of trust. It's Ash. But we don't have a choice. Then lead, I say. We sprint through collapsing walkways, dodging beams and shrapnel as the station dies around us. Argos keeps time in my mind. 3 minutes. Lyra hacks open a sealed bulkhead, fingers shaking over melted circuitry. The door screeches aside. On the other side lies the bridge. Or what's left of it. Bodies litter the floor, officers I once laughed with, argued with, fought alongside. Some shot. Some burned. Some slumped in the positions where they died. And standing in the center, back turned, hands clasped behind him like a man giving a lecture instead of orchestrating a massacre, is Ravel. He turns as we enter, calm as ever. Calm like a man who knows every outcome ends with his victory. Well, he says, eyes landing on me. The prototype lives. Fascinating. Adarin hisses, stepping forward, but Ravel raises a finger. I wouldn't. He taps a console. Argos jolts inside my skull, like lightning through a spiderweb. Kale, warning, signal detected. Pain detonates behind my eyes. Ravel smiles. It seems you didn't know. Argos was designed with a failsafe. A kill switch. In case you malfunctioned. I collapse to my knees as electricity arcs through my implants. My vision fractures, shards of static, streaks of fire. Lyra screams my name and rushes toward me. Ravel blocks her with an outstretched arm. Let him go. He was never meant to survive the augmentation process. My fingers dig into the floor as my spine arches. Argos's voice scrambles, glitching between panic and silence. Kale, disconnect. Cannot, stop, signal. Ravel steps closer. You want to know why I did it? His voice drips with patronizing warmth. Because humanity must evolve, but you were an uncontrolled variable. A threat. If the aliens seized you, they could replicate the enhancements. I acted to protect us all. Adarin snarls, your lies stink of fear. Ravel's smile widens. Fear keeps the species alive. Another surge hits. My body convulses, muscles locking, circuits screaming. Memories flicker through my vision. Soren's last words, Lyra's silence, Argos whispering comfort in the dark. Lyra shoves Ravel aside and drops beside me. Kale, stay with me, please. Her hands touch my face. But I can't feel her. I can't feel anything. Ravel draws his weapon, voice icy. Step away from him, Lieutenant. This ends now. The bridge blurs. Argos's fading voice claws through the static. Go. I won't let them shut us down. Then his voice cuts out. A black void swallows me whole. The last thing I hear is Lyra screaming and Adarin roaring in rage. Then nothing. Only darkness. Darkness is not empty. It is full of whispers. Fragments of Argos drift around me, half-formed thoughts, broken code, fading warmth. His presence flickers like a dying star, but even as the void closes in, he pushes something into my mind. A key. A sequence. A farewell. And then, light. The darkness tears open, replaced by alarms, fire, and the metallic taste of blood. I gasp, lungs burning as if pulled from the bottom of an ocean. My implants spark, rebooting with a violent jolt that snaps my limbs back into motion. Argos is gone. But something of him remains, woven through my circuitry, humming beneath my skin. A final gift. A final burden. The bridge is chaos. Lyra has dragged me behind a shattered console, her face streaked with ash, eyes wide with terror and relief. Kale, thank the stars, she whispers, choking on a sob. Across the room, Adarin struggles to rise, one leg drenched in his own dark blue blood. He grips his blade, refusing to fall. And Ravel stands above them all like a man untouched by catastrophe. His killswitch device smolders in his hand, cracked down the center. He stares at me in disbelief. You should be dead. I rise slowly, feeling the weight of new strength coil through my limbs, cold, precise, but undeniably alive. Argos didn't let me go, I say. Ravel sneers. The AI is terminated. You're running on ghost code. Instability. A machine pretending to be human. For the first time, I feel no surge of anger at his words. Just clarity. Behind Ravel, the viewport flickers with crimson light. The alien fleet advances, sleek obsidian vessels tightening formation, preparing for the final strike. Their shadows glide across the broken station like vultures circling a corpse. But then, something else appears. A ripple of distortion. Then another. Stars vanish behind massive, angular silhouettes emerging from cloak. Dozens, no hundreds, of colossal warships slip into existence, dwarfing the alien cruisers. Their hulls bear no insignia. No registry marks. Just the cold, unyielding geometry of Terran military design. Lyra swears under her breath. What in the hell are those? Adarin's eyes widen with recognition, fear, and awe. Those ships were myths. Ravel smiles with quiet triumph. Project Eclipse wasn't just about you, Kale. Outside, the alien fleet hesitates, falters, then erupts into frantic motion, scrambling to reposition. The hidden Terran warships spread like a steel storm front, blocking out half the stars. Their engines burn white, angular armor gleaming in the dying station's light. This impossible armada, was humanity's true secret. Argos's final whisper echoes faintly in my mind. They were never meant to see the light. The revelation hits like a physical blow. Eclipse wasn't an experiment. It was a contingency plan. A weapon. A warning. And I was part of it. Ravel lifts his chin. Humanity must survive at any cost. Even if that cost is the truth. He draws his blade, a weapon humming with plasma, elegant and deadly. You were never supposed to wake, Kale. You were never supposed to think for yourself. He lunges. I intercept him easily, faster than my former self could ever have imagined. My palms meet his wrist, redirecting the strike with mechanical precision. Sparks rain as plasma schemes metal. I don't feel fear. Or hate. Only motion. Ravel snarls, striking again and again with soldier-perfect brutality. I counter each move effortlessly, guided by calculation and memory. The man who once led me, trained me, lied to me. Lyra watches from the corner, horror etched across her features. Not at Ravel but at me. Adarin struggles to his feet, shouting, "End him, Kale." But I don't. I disable him. With one decisive blow, I disarm Ravel, sending his plasma blade spinning across the deck. Another strike collapses his knee. He crashes down, gasping. He looks up at me with hatred twisting into disbelief. You could kill me, he spits. So why hesitate? Because you want me to, I answer. For the first time, Ravel's composure cracks. You think morality will save you? Save them? He gestures at the viewport, where Terran warships unleash synchronized annihilation. Alien cruisers erupt in blossoms of light. This is survival, he rasps. This is what humanity is. No, I say quietly. This is what you made it. Ravel lunges one final time, a desperate reach for my throat. I block him with effortless precision and deliver the final blow, a strike to the base of his skull that slams him unconscious to the floor. Not rage. Not vengeance. Just necessity. Lyra exhales shakily, knees buckling. Kel, I thought you'd. I know what you thought. And I don't blame her. Adarin limps toward the viewport, staring at the impossible armada. Your people hide a blade behind every smile, he mutters. Yet even I did not expect this. Outside, Terran warships tear through the alien fleet with brutal efficiency. The sky burns. Space bends with shockwaves. The station vibrates with every distant explosion. Argos's presence hums faintly within me, a final echo guiding my thoughts. He triggered this. He summoned the fleet. He made sure humanity's secret wasn't buried with us. But at what cost? Lyra steps beside me, voice trembling. Kale, what happens now? I look at the unconscious form of Ravel. At the fires consuming the bridge. At the warships blotting out the stars. At the future Argos died to unlock. I don't know, I admit. But I feel something heavy, alive, lodged in the center of my chest. Responsibility. Because I'm not just a weapon anymore. I'm what's left of Argos. I'm what Project Eclipse created. And I'm what humanity is going to fear next. As the last alien cruiser explodes in a bloom of fire, the entire universe seems to hold its breath. And I stand on the bridge of a dying station, reborn in shadows and steel, staring into a future no one planned for. The battle is over long before the flames on Helix 9 stop burning. Outside the shattered viewport, the alien fleet is nothing but drifting debris, shards of obsidian hull plating, ruptured engines, and the fading glow of dying reactors. The Terran warships move through the wreckage in silent formation, titanic silhouettes blotting out entire constellations. Not a single one bears a scar. Project Eclipse's secret weapons were never meant to lose. Lyra stands beside me on the ruined bridge, arms wrapped around herself, staring at the destruction with hollow eyes. Adarin leans against the console, bandaged and exhausted but alive. His gaze tracks the Terran warships with wary dislike. And I stand where Argos used to whisper in my mind. His absence is an ache sharper than any wound. My implants hum weakly, their once brilliant resonance dimmed. All that remains of Argos is a flicker, faint code drifting through the cracks of my consciousness like the last ember of a dying star. I kneel beside a ruined panel and remove a small silver shard, a data crystal, old military tech. I feel Argos's presence shiver as I begin transferring every fragment of his fading code into its core. Kale? The voice is so faint I almost think I imagined it. I'm here, I whisper. Cycle, ending. I know. The light inside the shard pulses once, twice, then stabilizes into a soft glow. Argos is gone. But not lost. I close my fingers around the shard and slip it into a slot on my forearm, a place where something important should be. Something like a friend. When I stand, Lyra is watching me with tears she doesn't bother to wipe away. Kel, I'm sorry. For all of it. For not choosing you sooner. There are 1,000 things I could say. 1,000 wounds she could reopen with a single breath. But the truth is simpler. You made your choice, I tell her gently. And I made mine. Her face crumples but she nods. She knows this isn't anger. It's acceptance. A quiet goodbye. The station's emergency lights flicker as a shuttle docks with a heavy clang. Armed Terran officers step through the smoke, faces cold, posture rigid. When they see me they stop. They recognize what I am. What Project Eclipse has made me. Their commander, a woman with polished metals and eyes like dark steel, gives me a curt nod. Kale Draven. Or whatever designation Eclipse assigned you. Command requests your presence. We're assembling a new strike fleet. Humanity needs leaders, assets, like you. Adarin stiffens. They want to turn you into a weapon. The commander doesn't deny it. We want him to choose purpose. Service. Protection. I don't answer. Because I already know. If I step aboard that warship, I will become exactly what Ravel wanted me to be. A tool. A blade without agency. A ghost controlled by those who fear me and need me in equal measure. I feel the data shard's warmth against my arm. Argos's last echo. He died giving me a chance to choose my own path. I'm not going with you, I say. The commander blinks. Excuse me? I said no. Find someone else to lead your fleet. Shock ripples through the soldiers. Lyra looks away, perhaps expecting this. Adarin grins, sharp and fierce. You heard him, the alien says. He walks his own road now. The commander's jaw tightens. And where will you go then? I look out at the stars, at the endless dark unmarked by fleets or flags. Somewhere you can't follow, I say. The captured alien cutter is small, fast, and barely held together, but its engines still breathe, and that is enough. Adarin boards first, limping slightly but full of purpose. If you mean to vanish into the void, Draven, you will need someone who understands its shadows. I will come. My honor demands it. I nod once. It's not partnership. Not yet. But it's something close. Lyra meets me at the ramp. She places a hand on my arm, soft, trembling. You could stay, she whispers. Try again. With me. I shake my head. I'm not Kale Draven anymore. Pain flashes in her eyes. But she doesn't argue. She lets her hand fall. Then whoever you become. I hope he finds peace. She steps back as the ramp closes. Through the small viewport, I watch her silhouette shrink, swallowed by smoke and stars. Adarin settles into the co-pilot chair, glancing at me with curiosity. If you are not Kale, what name will you claim? I look out at the wreckage, the warships, the burning remnants of Helix 9, and the limitless sky beyond. A life built on lies is gone. A future built on truth waits in the dark. I'll take a name no one can erase, I say. Afterlight. Adarin repeats it with a slow nod. A fitting name for one who walks out of fire. The engines ignite. As the cutter slips into the void, I feel the data shard pulse once like a heartbeat. Argos's last fragment, quiet, patient, watching the stars with me. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know who I'll become. But for the first time, the future belongs to me. Afterlight. A new name. A new story. A new legend beginning among the stars.